You ain't gotta say my name. You ain't gotta say my name. And you ain't gotta say a thing. Just know that I am here. And you ain't gotta say my name. You ain't gotta say my name. And you ain't gotta say a thing.
Welcome back to the Good Leader Podcast, where we sharpen the mind, strengthen the body, and lead with purpose. And real quick, let's define what that means. Staying dangerous means staying ready. It means being a man who can protect, provide, lead under pressure, and stay disciplined when life tries to make him soft. You don't need to be perfect, but you better be prepared. And today's episode is all about preparation, because the truth is, you're not weak, you're untrained. If you're tired of excuses, tired of folding when life gets heavy, this episode is for you. Let's go. All right, man, let's jump in. A lot of guys say, I'm not that type of guy, or that's not in my DNA. What do you mean when you say you're not weak, you're untrained?
So I think when the saying you're not weak, you're untrained is basically you're not going to do things you've never trained for. Guys that think that they're going to fight when they never trained to fight, you're going to know how to shoot or use a gun when you never used a gun, or think that you're going to be magically physically fit when you don't work out. None of that stuff happens magically. You have to actually work at it, train at it, and they're all perishable skills. Like myself, I don't consider myself to be a natural athlete. I never was a natural just at shooting guns. There are always things that I had to train at consistently, and I do them over and over and over and over, basically, set after set, reps and reps and reps, just to get good at them. And that's the way that I learned. And I've never really seen people learn differently. I've seen people be naturally gifted at something, but that also goes away. That's why they say, your talent can take you to a place your character can't handle. So if you're naturally good at something, people tend to not work as hard at it, but sooner or later that talent can go away. That's why I see a lot of, famous people kind of fall off. You have to stay disciplined. Discipline is way more important than natural talent or motivation, in my personal opinion, when it comes to that. And most of us, we're not falling short because we're broken or we don't know how to do it. It's just because we're not practicing enough. We're not putting ourselves in those uncomfortable situations. You don't want to go to the gym, so you avoid it. You're not comfortable with weapons, so you avoid it. You get invited to the range to go shoot, but you don't want to go because you don't want to look like you don't know what you're doing or anything like that. And you have to constantly put those in those reps to get better at something. This is the same thing with this podcast, for example, right? With you can look at me and Miguel. Like, I don't naturally like talking in front of a mic and doing the podcast, but I know to get better at it, it's sets and reps. So we're actually doing what we're telling other people to do. I want to get better at this. I want to get better at doing podcasts, doing interviews, sitting here talking. So I have to do sets and reps. There's no way around it. I won't get better by just thinking about, hey, I hope I can do a podcast really good. So that's at least, I think it's a way to show like we're not just telling you to do something that we're not doing ourselves.
So what does training actually look like? Where does the man start if he wants to build himself into something better?
You start by not avoiding the things that you're uncomfortable with. Some of those examples, like I said, the gym, the range. If you're looking to, get better at, jiu-jitsu or something like that. I always hear people that like they want to do it, but they don't want to be, they don't want to be at that learning stage when you have to. Everyone starts off somewhere. Everyone starts off being a learner. I think, to me, what I think is a strength for myself is I'm not afraid to start new things, and not be great at it and just keep making adjustments till I get good at it. I honestly think that's a strength of mine. I think that for some people, they do things, they're naturally good at it, and that's what they want to do. That becomes their strength. I feel like a lot of stuff I've done, I wasn't naturally good at it. I kind of had to be, persevere and be disciplined to do it. And over time, I found myself getting a lot better than people that were just naturally good at it, because I consistently would work at it and get better at it. And I think that same system could have worked for anyone. Basically, there's no person I don't think that wouldn't benefit. And it's also doing little things that make you uncomfortable. Like if you don't like to wake up early, wake up early. You hear about cold showers, or like I used to like do cryotherapy. being in the cold because you feel your brain telling you to get out of the cold, to stay out there, and you kind of learn to sit there and kind of suck it up and just kind of deal with it for a little bit and know it's gonna pass eventually, and that it's all for a good purpose. It's not bad to be uncomfortable, and repetition creates resilience, and that's where you become dangerous. Just doing something over and over till you become better at it. It shouldn't be easy, and if it is easy, then do something else that's hard.
So let's say someone's listening and they're ready. They've had enough. What's the next move?
I would say choose one thing and then daily start going after it. If it's something simple, it's the gym, right? Start saying, I'm gonna go to the gym a couple times a week or daily if you can, and make that commitment and follow through with that commitment. And I think the biggest mistake people go is with going without a plan to do these things, right? They have no plan, or they just think they're gonna get up and do it. So if you need to look at your own life schedule, your work schedule, does it benefit you to go to the gym before or after work? And what's the amount of time you're looking at doing? If you've never been to the gym, maybe you want to go Monday through Friday, and you want to go in the morning from 5 to 6 or 7 to 8, and you want to walk for a half an hour. Do that for a month and see how that goes. Just go through, and that is, I think, is going to build enough momentum that you get interested in doing different exercises. For me, for just to kind of share my kind of experience with stuff like that, going to the military, obviously it's forced workouts. It's forced, there's no, you're not going to do this. You're going to get smoked. They're going to push you. Once I got out of the military, I started off, again, doing like a lot of like home workouts. I did probably the programs people can think about. I've done P90X. I did Insanity. I did those until I got so comfortable doing those that I was like, okay, now I feel good with this. Let me go to the gym. And from there, I progressed to going to like, let me go to the gym. Let me learn how to do weights. And so now I felt comfortable with both things. Now I could do body weight stuff. I could go to the gym. I've done, I did Krav Maga for a while, went and did that, started incorporating that into my workouts. I've done boxing, all these things. So all these little things, it's just progressively, it just builds up. And that's from someone who never, really knew how to work out. Like I said, in the military, we got worked out, basically. We got told what to do, but I didn't know the process of working out. So that's just something as a way to, go, when you're trying to get better at something, you need to have like a plan and then have achievable goals of how you're gonna get to that next level, and make it a standard. It doesn't need to be a streak. Just continue to do it. It's a battle of attrition. I see a lot of people that it's gonna be like, I'm gonna get lean this summer, I'm gonna put on muscle this year. Honestly, like, I've been probably working out steadily since I was like 25 years old. So this is, when people say the marathon continues, like this is a marathon. This is a battle of attrition. This is not a sprint. I'm not like, I like anyone that works out, good to you, but it's really about, can you work out? A lot of people can work out when they don't have their job schedule allows it. They're single. They're little things like that. But now add in the other things. Hey, you're not single. Your job schedule is busy, or all these things, and all of a sudden all that stuff falls by the wayside. So you need to create a standard for yourself that you're going to do this no matter what, and you're going to get it done, because ultimately it benefits you, it benefits the people you love, it benefits your health, there's no downside to it other than it takes a little bit of your time. But what else are you going to be doing? Most people are going to be doing, what are they going to be doing with that time? Drinking, bullshitting, like, they're not going to be doing anything that's more important than that. So that's my take on that. So before we close out, I actually wrote down 5 real things that you could actually do to help you in this area. The first thing is go to the gym, lift heavy, sweat, get uncomfortable on purpose. The second is read 10 pages of a book, something that challenges your brain and not just dopamine. So don't just read some dumb shit. Read something that actually has maybe some substance to it. Write down your non-negotiables, define who you are, and stick to it. Almost like, where do you see yourself, going, or what are you trying to do? And a non-negotiable can be something like, hey, I need to, I've talked about this with a lot of people that work out. I need to work out this many times a week. I can only drink this many times a week. I need to get to bed by this time. Something that is not up for debate, basically. I would say, go to church on Sunday or sit in silence and pray for 10 minutes, reconnect with something bigger. That can mean a lot of different things for different people. You need to figure that out. That's something you need to figure out, whether it's not church, the meditation, or sit in silence and learn to like, just let your mind be, get clear. Pick one vice and cut it out for 30 days. Alcohol, porn, junk food, social media scrolling. Kill the weakness. I think take something out of your life that is not what do they call it? It is not giving back to you, right? What is I have nothing against alcohol and having a celebration or something like that, but most of the time, but what is it giving you? What are you getting out of it? If you're not getting something out of it besides numbness or not thinking about what your problems are, then it's a weakness. If you're just watching pornos all day long, then that's a weakness. If you're just doom scrolling all day long on social media, and that's a weakness. There's balance to everything. So just those are 5 tasks that I think you can do. They don't cost you money. They just cost you a little bit of discipline, and effort to get those done.
You heard it. You're not weak. You've just been living untrained, but that ends now. Support the mission. Follow Good Leader 805 and Easy F Media on Instagram. Go on YouTube and look up the Good Leader podcast. Follow, subscribe, comment, like. Cop the gear and support the movement at goodleader.shop. There you go. And I know I'm supposed to wrap it up here, but I need to go off script for a second. If something in this episode hit different, don't just sit on it. Screenshot the show, tag us, and post the one task you're committed to today. Doesn't matter if it's small. Doesn't matter if no one claps. The guy who wins aren't the ones who feel the hype. They're the ones who follow through. The fire in your chest right now, that's not motivation. That's your instincts waking up. The world doesn't need more men talking about potential. It needs men becoming dangerous, quietly, consistently, and without apology. You've got the blueprint. Now make it real. This is the Stay Dangerous podcast, the Good Leader podcast. It's where good men get forged into dangerous ones. Until next time.